Alright, in the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, this will be effects of adverse balance 9-3. Adverse balance conditions affect flight characteristics in much the same manner as those mentioned for an excess weight condition. It is vital to comply with weight and balance limits established for the aircraft, especially rotorcraft operating above the maximum weight limitation compromises the structural integrity of the rotorcraft and adversely affects performance. Balance is also critical because on some fully loaded rotorcraft, center of gravity deviations as small as 3 inches can dramatically change handling characteristics. Stability and control are also affected by improper balance. Stability. Loading in a nose-heavy condition causes problems in controlling and raising the nose, especially during takeoff and landing. Loading in a tail-heavy condition has a serious effect upon longitudinal stability and reduces the capability to recover from stalls and spins. So yeah, stalls, your angle of attack, you're going to compromise that because the tail's going to stay heavy the whole time. You want to come back down, but you can't because the tail's too heavy. Tail heavy loading also produces very light control forces, another undesirable characteristic. This makes it easy for the pilot to inadvertently overstress an aircraft. It is important to reevaluate the balance in a rotorcraft whenever loading changes. In most aircraft, offloading a passenger is unlikely to adversely affect the center of gravity, but offloading passenger is unlikely to adversely affect the center of gravity, but offloading passenger from a rotorcraft can create an unsafe flight condition. An out-of-balance loading condition also decreases maneuverability since cyclic control is less effective in the direction opposite to the center of gravity. Limits for the location of the center of gravity are established by the manufacturer. These are the fore and aft limits beyond which the center of gravity should not be located for flight. These limits are published for each aircraft in the Type Certificate Data Sheets, the TCDS, or Aircraft Specification, and the AFM, Pilot's Operating Handbook, the POH. The center of gravity is not within the allowable limits after loading. If the center of gravity is not within the allowable limits after loading, it will be necessary to relocate some items before flight is attempted. The forward center of gravity limit is often established at a location that is determined by the landing characteristics of an aircraft. During landing, one of the most critical phases of flight, exceeding the forward center of gravity limit may result in excessive loads on the nose wheel. A tendency to nose over on tail wheel type airplanes, decreased performance, higher stalling speeds, and higher control forces. Alright, we'll hold off right there. That was stability. We're going to move into control. That's stability. Effects of adverse balance 9-3.